Ah, Tinder. Where your friends find girlfriends, you find Bitcoin bot scams, and I find your mum. But how did this X-rated version of Fruit Ninja become the Western world's favourite way to meet the prime suspect in their own murder? Well, partly by exploiting the desperation of their own customers and maximising misery at every available opportunity. Just like frisbee golf and spelling women incorrectly, Tinder first gained inexplicable popularity on American college campuses. The app was created by Sean Rad during the great frat boy application startup boom. It was marketed heavily in sororities and fraternities in booze-laden party events. Rad built a prototype with Joe Manotes in 2012 and then launched the app properly with an expanded team of founders the following year. But Tinder wasn't some garage band operation. It is owned by the Match Group, which has systematically been acquiring a majority stake in the world's online dating market since its inception. Starting with Match.com, they also own Plenty of Fish, Our Time, OkCupid, Pairs, Alblo, Amorex, Black People Meet, Bilk, and as of 2019, Hinge, also known as Tinder for people who think they're too good for Tinder. Bumble remains separate from the Match Group's empire, but it was founded by Tinder co-founder Whitney Wolfe. The Match Group has quickly dominated the dating market, and Tinder is its most successful enterprise, accounting for 56% of the group's total revenue in 2019. And that's because it's popular with the dating world's largest and horniest demographic, young adults aged 18 to 25. Older services like Match.com and OkCupid found success with smaller, older, desperater demographics. People who are willing to fill out long, complicated questionnaires and sift through long, boring profiles because they were motivated by their desire not to die alone. On Tinder, all you needed was a Facebook account and a couple of photos. No personality required. Unlike its boomer-filled predecessors, Tinder doesn't even check whether you're a sex offender or not. Anyone can find love on their platform. Rad and his team promised something that the Pornhub sidebar had always failed to deliver: hot singles in your area. But instead of giving you a computer virus, it was facilitating the spread of sexually transmitted ones. However, the app's success is also rooted in its most famous feature. With this simple gesture, Tinder transformed online dating from a book report into a slutty slot machine. This is another one of Tinder's co-founders, Jonathan Badeen, explaining how he came up with the feature.
And so it allows you to also sort of make quick decisions, which I think was sort of key to Tinder.
Right. So, I mean, it kind of forces a quick decision.
Exactly.
If you've used Tinder at all, then that noise probably does something for you. The swipe feature and its associated reward system is a perfect example of what behavioral psychologists call operant conditioning, as demonstrated by these pigeons.
One of the schedules which is very effective with rats or pigeons is what we call the variable ratio schedule, and that is at the heart of all gambling devices and has the same effect. A pigeon can become a pathological gambler just as a person can.
Our brains get juiced with dopamine when we anticipate a reward, often more so than when we're actually receiving one. It's the same feeling that Granny gets when she's sat at the slot machine, and it inspires the same kind of behaviour. Repetitive, mechanical, motion. Like those pigeons, Tinder keeps us pecking at one another through the anticipation of a reward. This anticipation can also be frustrating though, especially when those seeds stop falling. Tinder is very, very secretive about what it once called its desirability score, a hidden rating given to every user that governs how often they're shown to people and who they're shown to. As of 2019, Tinder claims they no longer rely on this rating system and that they instead adjust potential matches you see each and every time your profile is liked or noped. How that's different to what it was like before is, well, it's not different. Tinder just don't like you to think about the fact that you have a secret rating system that you can't access or change through any definite behavior. For an undisclosed number of swipers then, Tinder will intentionally surface your profile less depending on what others think of you. So what's the solution to this? Well, Tinder may well have changed dating forever, but it still reinforces one of its oldest cliches. If you're Lightspeed ugly, you better be prepared to spend some money. Starting in March 2015, Tinder began limiting all users to 100 swipes a day, only giving you more if you signed up for Tinder Plus, which they released with this pre-COVID relic featuring an office-bound hottie going on a European ploughfest, facilitated by infinite swipes, the passport feature, and apparently more money than God. Essentially, what early users experienced was the free trial. But hey, Tinder did have to make money somehow. And the rewind feature is great, as it allows you to lower your standards on a swipe-by-swipe basis. People clearly think it's worth the money because Tinder has experienced steady subscriber growth quarter on quarter since it premiered. In 2017, they coughed up an even exclusiver subscription level with Tinder Gold, and with it became the most profitable phone application in the world, even beating Netflix. But some people are paying a lot more for Tinder than others, and that's where things get interesting. You might not be surprised to know that men greatly outnumber women on basically all dating apps, especially Grindr for some reason. In the UK, 85% of dating app users are dudes, and on Tinder, it's worse, with dick outnumbering box at a 9-to-1 ratio. If our genitals were currency, then vag would be the dollar, and dong would be, well, the Vietnamese dong. With this disparity, men face an entirely different kind of European sexpedition. You know Tinder is truly a mobile game when it is packed to the rafters with microtransactions, boost features. These little doodads and PowerPoint presentation slides promise to push your ugly face into the phones of every meat sack in your zip code. For just $70, Super Boost promises to cut you to the front and be seen by up to 100 times more potential matches. Yep, you read that correctly. Up to 100 times more views. And then there's the Super Like, which can be batch bought in groups of 5, allowing you to bypass Tinder's basic rule of only showing you to people who've liked you back. To counteract the idea that this was Tinder's equivalent of catcalling, they premiered the feature with this superhero-inspired commercial. And thanks to the recently rolled out Tinder Platinum, currently only available in certain regions, subscribers can use their messaging before match feature so that they can attach a little post-it note to their super like. Essentially, Tinder's most prized features are those that allow you to bypass the laws of mutual attraction that their whole swiping game is based on. Also included in Tinder Platinum is priority likes, a new feature that apparently allows your likes and super likes to be seen by a potential match before the likes of non-subscribers. When this feature is rolled out nationally, I guess you can expect your Tinder train to be front-ended by a first-class carriage of Tinder Platinum Uber-menches. But this whole messaging before matching thing goes against everything that Sean Rad said was good about the app.
But we find out when somebody you want to meet actually wants to meet you back, and we do so in a way that doesn't require you putting yourself out there.
But maybe it wasn't Rad's idea. He was removed as CEO in 2015 after being caught up in a sexual harassment lawsuit directed at Justin Mateen by Bumble's eventual founder, Whitney Wolfe. Rad did return to the role 6 months later, but was removed and replaced again by Greg Blatt, CEO of IAC, the Match Group's parent company. And Blatt was removed from the role after he was accused of sexual harassment by a Tinder marketing executive. And that claim is wrapped up in an ongoing lawsuit led by Rad against IAC and the Match Group for allegedly hiding Tinder's growth potential from them and therefore being able to keep billions of dollars worth of stock options from landing in their wallets. Tinder has swiped through a few CEOs since then, treating them like I do any profile where a girl's at Disneyland or Harry Potter World. Left. Sexual harassment of women may be rife at Tinder HQ, but their app discriminates against men. Yeah, I said it. But it is a little bit more complicated than that. A simple but revealing study from the University of London tells us something that you probably already suspected. They found that female profiles received matches about 10% of the time, whereas their male profiles scored a measly 0.6%. Meaning that most men will not get a single match from the 100 freebie swipes that the service gives you outside of their subscription model. So it stands to reason then that the less matches you get, the more likely you're going to be to spaff money into Tinder's system. Tinder's payment model is in direct correlation with how shitty it makes you feel about yourself. And that's why Tinder loves microtransactions, because it gives you every available opportunity to problem solve your own loneliness with your PayPal account. But Tinder is also charging men more for the same service. Well, not all men, just older, urban, less desirable men. Last year, Tinder settled an age discrimination lawsuit in California, as they were charging people over 30 twice as much for Tinder Plus. In other territories, Tinder continues to charge you differently based upon the personal data you hand them when you sign up. A straight male over 50 living in a metropolitan area will pay just under $35 for Tinder Plus, whereas a queer female under 30 living in the same area will pay just under $7 for the same service. Through pricing, Tinder is trying to fix its supply and demand problem. They want older, less desirable men to leave their app, but not until after they've spaffed a few paychecks into their system. Tinder's gender disparity problem actually manifested in the real world during the Natasha Aponte incident.
Hi everyone! As you may or may not know, my name is Natasha, and I have everyone here today to be on a date with me.
Hundreds of men congregated in Union Square for what they thought was a one-on-one date, but turned out to be a battle royale for some subpar slice.
Excuse me.
The men who didn't protest their shoddy treatment competed in a push-up contest, a foot race, and were publicly belittled for their various physical failings.
Swipe and left.
The stunt was orchestrated by viral video guru Rob Bliss, who hired 50 full-time staff to message thousands of men on Aponte's behalf to prove some kind of point.
Now the people behind the stunt are speaking out.
Showing the Tinder experience in real life shows what we're actually doing on our phones.
Oh yeah, brave social experiment there, guys. It is exactly like what happens on Tinder. Except, you know, you're the one humiliating people and putting them on camera for an audience of millions. There's this bit in the Metropolis by Upton Sinclair where an old man keeps losing money at a fixed card game. And he's asked, "Why do you keep going, old man? Don't you know the game is crooked?" To which he responds, "Of course it's crooked, but damn if it ain't the only game in town." And that's kind of how I feel about dating apps. Tinder isn't going anywhere. And in our socially distanced dystopia, meeting people in person is getting harder and definitely weirder. Tinder and other dating apps might well be crooked, but damn if they ain't the only game in town. Oh hi, didn't see you there. Thanks for watching. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to be doing a few more videos like this. So if you enjoyed this one, make sure to hit the bell and go follow me on Twitter so the next ordinary thing can be delivered straight to your face. In the next few days, I'm also going to be setting up a patrons-only Discord. So if you want to be part of that, make sure you go check out my Patreon in the link below. All right, happy swiping and bye-bye.